Happy Bad Batch Friday to every single one of you guys. We are back with Season 1, Episode 11. And, well, this is a pretty unique episode. Today we're going to be talking full spoilers once again. If you guys are new here, make sure to again hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your favorite moment, your favorite thought. What do you think about the episode? Let's discuss it all down there. This is once again an interesting one because last week, if you watched my review, you kind of heard me talk about, like, yes, it was a fun mission, but I feel like there's still a lot missing from this show. I love all the Cad Bane stuff. I find all the missions to be fun. And really much, the Bad Batch themselves are interesting characters. The reveals around Omega are interesting. And I want to see where this show's going because the show's about to end. We got, what, 4 more episodes now? And this episode, Bad Batch were maybe in it for 3 minutes or less. This was an episode that I really liked. Didn't feel like a Bad Batch episode. Felt more like a Rebels prequel, very much because of Hera and Chopper being in here, which I did not expect to see that at all. Not even see them in the show. I know we were going to Ryloth. I was like, oh, you know, like, maybe we'll get a hint, maybe. And then it's her parents, and I'm like, what? Her parents are here? We're seeing Hera and Chopper, and then they pop up, and you know, seeing Hera younger and seeing Chopper again, it makes me happy because I want to see the Rebels crew back. I love Star Wars Rebels, and I'm really hoping that Ahsoka show, we get live-action versions of all the crew, whether it's Zeb, Chopper, Hera, whoever's alive at this point. And, you know, in this particular moment, it was something that I was very excited to see, and I think the thing that I really loved about this, and it goes as far to say is why I love Star Wars television so much, and because they can take those slower moments, they can take those more peaceful moments, just Hera looking up at the sky, and, you know, in just that visual cue, you can very much see that, like, she wants to be a pilot. These are the early days, and even throughout the episode, she, you know, is kind of learning and talks about, like, this is what I want to do, and when Omega is talking with her, and they're kind of learning techniques, it's a very little bit different, and I like that, because they're around the same age, and they're learning from one another. You know, she learns that kind of flying is just something special out there. And again, this is something that I like about Star Wars animation and just Star Wars television, is it does get time to expand on those tinier moments a little bit more than you usually would. Now, when it comes down to the entire episode itself, I'm wondering how this fits in. Now, where I'm kind of going about this, I wonder how big of a play Ryloth is really going to play within the rest of the Bad Batch season. I actually think this is probably going to be one of the biggest segments of it. Maybe I'll be completely wrong. Maybe next week they don't even go back. I think it would be kind of a mistake to not touch on this more, especially since, of course, Crosshair is there. A lot of the Empire is there, which again is a big part of what the Bad Batch is about. It's an epilogue from Clone Wars, as well as a prequel to the original saga and, of course, Rebels. Really much playing around in that in-between timeline of where are these characters, what is going on, and I think this might be a big part of it, of the Bad Batch doing something on Ryloth. But again, that's something that we'll have to see what happens next week. But what happens within this episode is, again, Ryloth, you know, they've been saved. Yay! But guess what? The clones are staying now, and they want to take all their weapons, which is something that, of course, some of the people don't want to do. But within that segment, they end up, hey, gate the weapons, whatever. Hera's like, hey, take me, let's go, I'll go with you guys, teach me how to fly, blah, blah. They go, they meet the Bad Batch, which is, again, was a nice moment, but they get those weapons, they fly back. They, of course, get caught because Crosshair had tracked their ship, and that ends up just not going in the best possible way, because then that just kind of addresses everything in the worst possible scenario, because that's not what they want to do. They are caught, traitors, all of that sorts of sense. And again, this is kind of where the episode really brings itself down into a very somber and subdued moment. And again, showing how Hera and where she ended up coming to be, which I loved. I personally love a majority of this episode, even though I do feel like it's a little bit abrupt in the middle of the season, especially when we have 4 episodes left. But I think all this stuff on Ryloth is really good build-up, and I'm really interested to see where they end up taking it, if they end up doing, or if this is just kind of a prequel. If it is, then it's a little bit weird in that stake to kind of put this in a Bad Batch show and not really have the Bad Batch be a big particular moment to it. I'm really interested to hear what your guys' thoughts on this. Did you guys were you guys disappointed not to see them as much in it? Or did you like the different take on this? Because I think this was a very different dynamic take that I feel like Dave Filoni really much wanted to take within the show and expand more on some of his characters from, of course, Rebels. And we've already seen that with a little bit more of Kanan in the beginning, the first episode of the entire season. And I think just showing here, I think goes again to see what is going on inside the Empire now and inside this galaxy. This was again an episode that not much happened, but at the same time, a lot of it did. A lot of development with Ryloth, a lot of development of seeing Hera and Chopper once again. The Bad Batch, which again, gorgeous animation on that planet of them passing the torch, passing the weapons over. There's a lot I'm really looking forward to, and I think this is kind of just good setup to the back half and the finale of Bad Batch. I don't know if we're getting season 2. I don't know if this is a one season thing. From what I've heard, maybe rumors are circulating that there will be a season 2 of this. I hope there is, because I really am enjoying the show overall, even though I'm still kind of wondering what is the main through line for this entire show in general. Because when we look at Clone Wars, Rebels, we can kind of see the arcs throughout it. Bad Batch, I'm still waiting for that, and I'm hoping by the last couple of episodes we can kind of see how this rounds out overall. But again, guys, I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts, so make sure to comment down below. Let me know. Hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your favorite Rebels character. Is there anyone else you want to see show up? I really would love to see Zeb or Sabine. I don't know if we'll get to see that, but I think Hera and Chopper showing up here was a perfect little surprise, and what a perfect little moment for this all. So thank you once again, guys, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with us all.